been a fair bit of discussion online over the past few days about this article. It's from a website called GTA Focal, which is a kind of self-proclaimed GTA news website. And I suppose I want to just offer this disclaimer at the beginning of the video to say that this website is not a well-established GTA news source. It's not a well-established website, which means it might not necessarily be a trusted news website. We have no way of kind of verifying how reliable this website is. It only opened up towards the end of last year, in I think November or something, and it mainly posts about updates to GTA Online. And this article here that I'm going to go through today is pretty poorly written and has quite bad grammar and stuff, and it relies heavily on anonymous sources. That's fine if it's a trusted news source, like for example with Jason Schreier and Bloomberg, but in this context it means it's hard to verify how true and reliable this information in this article actually is. For all we know, it could be entirely made up, or the source could have been misinformed or not that kind of in the know, so to speak. So what I just want to say is take this article with a pinch of salt, but essentially it talks about the acquisition of CFX.RE by Rockstar. CFX.RE runs 5M and RedM, which for those who don't know are these communities of modded role-playing servers, which I'm sure you've seen videos of online on YouTube if you haven't played them yourself. They're hugely popular, and most people will know that last year Rockstar bought CFX.RE, the group behind these servers, and this was a huge surprise actually, because Rockstar had basically previously been trying to shut these kinds of things down. They didn't like modding on their game, which in some respects is understandable, considering 5M, for example, has real life cars in it. It breaks all sorts of copyright rules, I'm sure, by having real cars, whereas Rockstar obviously make kind of heavily inspired by real life, their cars are, but they are unique in a way. RedM is Red Dead Redemption, I should just say. 5M is GTA 5 kind of modded role-playing servers. And as I say, this article talks about the acquisition, and it says that Rockstar and Take-Two bought CFX.RE for $20 million, which, if this is all accurate, everything in this article seems pretty cheap, considering that, according to this, CFX.RE easily generates $1.5 million a month. This article also goes on to talk about kind of the poor culture at CFX.RE, nepotism, kind of hostile culture, negative work environment, erratic, inappropriate behavior. And then it goes on to talk about Rockstar internally developing an experimental project aimed to rival 5M. So it says, former developers at CFX.RE preferring anonymity informed Focal that the project started in 2021. Ultimately, it was shelved due to numerous factors. As of last year, the project has been revived and is currently under active development. And then it quotes a former 5M dev saying, I learned later that they were working on a 5M killer inside of Rockstar. They were given 0 sources, 0 debug symbols, and 0 info, so I'm not sure how they were expected to succeed. The project failed and supposedly died 2 years before we joined. That's before CFX.RE joined. They were supposed to be advising and judging our team and reporting back to Rockstar on what we were like. Obviously, they were not impressed. This led to the project being revived. Goes on to say, talk about kind of Rockstar's broader vision for the future of GTA Online. It says this project was a part of it. Their broader vision for GTA Online significantly involves user-generated content through Rockstar's online proprietary modding tools. So that's quite interesting. And the article points out that this is kind of backed up by what's been found in the code for the latest GTA Online update. There's some sort of public mission creator, public version of the mission creator, which was seen in the bottom dollar bounties update, but hasn't officially kind of been released in the game yet. So the article goes on to say that this is highly likely connected to the new Rockstar project, which, according to sources who like to remain anonymous, there we go again, is expected to be integrated into GTA Online later this year in early fall, with the next-gen consoles following shortly. And then this is kind of a weirdly worded sentence. Although our own sources heard about it, we were unable to verify this. The possibility of bringing it to consoles will also serve as a way to keep the game alive once updates slow down and GTA 6 arrives. The article then goes on to say, it is speculated, which is again really weird wording and very vague wording, that the project may serve as a conversion tool from 5M to the Rockstar modding platform. What their new project is exactly about is unsure. We can only speculate that it will be Rockstar's approach to bringing UGC, that's user-generated content, to all its consumers and having control over hosting, assets, and of course, microtransactions. So I should just clarify, when it talks about UGC and user-generated content, it's talking about making content within the game, including missions, as we saw before. And it ends with this saying, the uncertain future of 5M may be influenced by Rockstar's bigger vision of UGC, user-generated content, and their upcoming online modding platform, which is expected to launch later this year and will eventually replace the 5M project. Rockstar Games has not responded to requests for comment. So my thoughts on this, I don't know if there's really that much to say, to be honest, because I also think that by the time that I got around to making this video, the article had been edited and removed some of the stuff that other people were talking about in their videos. And the detail here is kind of vague and sketchy. As I say, the language they use is strange. And I did speak in a previous recent video about how I think roleplay will be integrated into the next version of GTA Online, because we've kind of been seeing that already with the introduction of more kind of role-playing elements in the game. For example, the taxi work, the police cars and the bounty work, the pizza delivery work as well. Let's not forget that great way of making money. And I spoke about this kind of move away from missions that solely make you money to more role-playing type missions. Obviously, the taxi work and the pizza work is hardly profitable at all. It's just not worth doing at all, but it's a role-playing element in the game. I did also point out, though, that I don't think the normal GTA Online servers are going to be completely integrated with the RP ones. I don't think, normal servers will be RP servers. I do believe they will be kept separate. And so this kind of does line up with what this article is talking about, potentially its own version of RP, maybe, this online modding platform later this year even. And also, if it is autumn, as it talks about, that is a month or two away. So it could be very soon. So I am actually surprised if that is accurate. I'm surprised that this is all happening this early on. I would expect a lot of this to come with the new version of GTA Online 2.0 as we call it, which obviously we're not expecting for over a year still. So I'm surprised to see some of this potentially coming sooner. I also did sort of expect Rockstar to close 5M in its current form and try to find a way to integrate it into GTA Online a bit better. So it doesn't surprise me that, again, if this is true, that they are trying to do that. I think 5M and RedM are kind of the Wild West, and so trying to bring it in within the company structure and within the structure of the game makes a lot of sense. Rebranding it, integrating it better with online, I think that makes a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of people taking from this, and again, I don't know if this is because it was an earlier edition of this article, that RP role-playing is coming to console, and I'm not entirely sure that's quite what will be happening. I'm no expert on the tech at all, as I've pointed out before, but I do think that would be quite difficult to do. I think the introduction of this new mission creator, as they call it, and maybe some kind of limited modding capabilities would make sense. But I think Rockstar have to be kind of careful and make sure the right protections are in place. Because anyone who's played GTA on PC or seen videos of people on PC playing GTA Online, it's completely out of control in terms of modding. Sometimes that game is virtually unplayable. It just seems absolutely hellish. Also, if you think about the role of social media in GTA Online 2.0, as we're calling it, I think this new kind of modding RP kind of element would go well with that. I'm imagining I'm going to make a proper video on this at some point, but that social media is going to become a big part of GTA, particularly GTA Online. And I think, Rockstar earlier this year or last year shut the social club down, and even, for example, the real life version of Life Invader that they'd set up online. And I think that's potentially setting up for a better integrated kind of social media system between GTA 6, GTA Online, and the real world, making it easier to share clips from the game and share different elements from the game, including, for example, creating missions and mods and even role-playing elements. And so I think that would all work quite well together, and bringing 5M into that under a new name makes a lot of sense, I think. But again, as I say, we should take this information with a pinch of salt. It's fairly vague, we don't entirely understand it, and it might be a slight exaggeration or misunderstanding. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens over the coming months and year and a bit to see if any of this actually happens.